What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing well. Now, for those of you that don't know, today is my 22nd birthday. I posted about it earlier on my community tab. Now, don't worry guys, I'm not expecting any presents, gifts, that sort of thing, but one thing you can do, if you haven't done already, is go ahead down below and hit the subscribe button. It takes literally 3 seconds, and if you do it, it would make my day, so you know what, go ahead, help me get to 500,000 subscribers as quickly as possible. With that being said, let's get into our first entitled parent story of today's video. Boomer tries to steal my baby. I'm a 20-year-old female with a 3-month-old son. We took our son to the park for the first time. They have swings good for little babies, so we had him in there. He absolutely loved it, by the way. There was an older lady there with 3 kids. I'm assuming her grandchildren because they were pretty young and she seemed my grandma's age. She was eyeing us up since the moment we got there. My fiance is a smoker and he's not allowed anywhere near the baby while smoking, so he went to the baseball fields to sit and smoke. This is a decent ways away. Even though this is a very small town, I didn't know the woman as we didn't live in the town that we are currently at. We live in the biggest town in that county, but apparently the county's park didn't have swings, even though it's huge. What? But I was very familiar with this town as I lived here for many years when I was younger, so he was fine with leaving us alone, just not familiar enough to know the people anymore. My step-grandparents also lived here, so I felt comfortable. After my fiance had went over to the ballpark, this lady approached me and began talking to me. She asked me how I like babysitting. I laughed and told her I wasn't babysitting, this was my son. This set her off. She grabbed a hold of my wrist and told me don't lie to her, that I'm too young for this to be my son and that she doesn't believe me. She told me if I didn't produce valid forms of identification for both of us, she would call the police for kidnapping. Sorry, I've just got to stop for a second. That might be the best bone apple tea I've ever seen. Identification, oh god. So here's the issue with that. I don't carry my wallet on me that often. And the only forms of identification I have for my son is his insurance card, as his birth certificate and social security card have not come in yet, due to everything being bogged down from the virus. I told the lady that, and she turned in her grip on my wrist, stating that that's a lie because they give you documents at the hospital. They don't. It escalated to the point where she shoves me down and tries to grab my son, stating that she will be keeping a hold of him until the cops arrive. I quickly got up and grabbed my son from her. I didn't punch her, but I did sort of palm her nose, which I guess I did harder than I meant to as she started bleeding. She yelled at me that she was going to press charges for assault. My fiance was making his way back during this time and caught the tail end of the confrontation. Skipping ahead to when the cops show, they are talking to each of us, but the old lady won't stop screeching, so they take her further away to talk. I am in complete fight mode at this point and terrified. I'm frantically explaining that I don't have ID, but this is my son. We just came here to the park to play. If there was any way I could prove I was the mother of my son, I showed him a photo of him getting pulled from me, my C-section, and him on my chest a few hours later. Obviously he looks different now, but you can tell it's the same baby. We were then allowed to go home and were told we'd be hearing from someone about the assault and charges against the woman. I'm aware there is some context missing, I just really don't have the time to sit down and write down everything, so if there's any questions I'll try and answer to the best of my ability. Now OP has actually given an update to this story. We set up an appointment with a lawyer for this Monday and we'll be going to the police station later today. We called ahead and made an appointment for 3, it's noon currently. Someone had mentioned seeing if the park had cameras. I was pretty sure they didn't as it's a very small area, but I called anyways and turns out they did. They agreed to send a copy of the footage to me, but they only have a couple, so I'm not sure if what happened was caught on tape as the cameras are near the pavilion and the swings are off to the side. I'd also like to add that I didn't expect this to blow up so much and would like to thank everyone for their kind words and support. Now this has 9.3k upvotes. I know I should have reacted better, but I was in shock and it happened so fast. I feel very guilty for not protecting my son, and I'd appreciate it if the comments about me doing such a trash job about it would stop, please. Interesting. I'll be honest, I'm not really sure what you did wrong there. Yeah, it probably wasn't a good idea to, assault this woman, but she was gonna steal your son. You had to do something. You can't have called the police and waited for them to come however long it would be, 5-10 minutes, they'd be long gone by then and your son would be gone. I don't really know what the commenters think you did wrong there. Like, surely when this old woman said to you, you need to produce identification or I'm calling the cops, that's just total BS, and at that point you know she's just crazy. Yeah, on the whole, not really sure what else you could have done here. Good job you're talking to a lawyer, and I hope you get things sorted. Now moving on to our next story. Entitled Mum tries to steal my Switch while I was waiting for my glasses. Before we begin, I swear to the All-Father, I thought those stories about Switch bandits in the wild were made up. Holy F-balls, was I wrong? Last night I got into a little scuffle at the convenience store down the street, and my glasses broke. My backup pair was also broken, so I had to wake up and get my happy butt to the glasses shop to have the lenses put in new frames. Figuring I'll be there for a while, I brought my Switch Lite, since Hearthstone Battlegrounds lags my phone like crazy. I get there, they do the COVID wellness check, and I take a seat by the door to wait for my turn. In walks Karen and her 2 crotch goblins. There's no employee at the door yet, as they're all crazy busy, so one of the techs says to Karen, "Someone will be right with you," and goes back to working. I'm obviously playing BOTW. Now that the scene is set, let's begin the dumb effery. The first kid said, "Hey, that guy has a Switch. Hey mister, can I see it?" "Sorry little dude, I'm in the middle of something." Then the second kid got involved. "Please, we broke ours and want to play yours." "No can do kid, sorry." Then finally the Karen intervened. "Give them the game or else." She said this very quietly, but thanks to my oversensitive hearing, I heard her loud and clear. "Are you serious right now? Or else what? Are you threatening my children?" "No, I'm asking you to clarify what you said, or else what?" At this point, the employee comes to do the wellness check on these 3 hobbits. "Hello mom, how can we help you today?" "Yes, I'm just here to get my angel's glasses, and this man stole their game. Make him give it back." "I saw him playing that before you got here, so I'm not going to do that. Also, sir, can you go to the repair desk? They're ready for you." "Thank you, sir," and away I go. Thinking this was over, oh boy, was I wrong. At some point in the 30 minutes it took them to find the new frames, Karen called the police. I get my frames and start to head out when I see a police officer talking to Karen, so I decide to stick around for a minute. She gestures over to me a few times and then sits back down. The police officer turns around and sees me, laughs a little, and walks over. "Hey Bill, this lady says you stole her kid's Switch and hit one of her kids. Any idea why she said that?" Now it turns out this officer is actually a friend of OP's from junior high. Because she's an idiot? Dude. Nah, for real, her kids asked to play it, I told them no, and she said, "Give it to them or else." And when I asked her to explain or else what, she started going on about me threatening her kids and some other stupid stuff. I can assure you this is my Switch. I've got all my details in it and everything. That lady is just a loon. "Okay, you got a few to hang out while I ask the employees and see if I can check the security footage? I want to smoke, so I'll be right out front." "Hey Karen, he's going to go check security footage to see if you're being honest or about to catch a charge for filing a false police report. And just so you know, I'm the kind of guy who has nothing better to do than press charges." "Oh, F you, you probably touch kids." At this point, the police officer is turning red from holding back laughing. He goes in the back, I go outside to smoke when another officer shows up. We chat while waiting for my officer friend to come back. Apparently, Karen was finishing up the glasses for her hexborn, so he knew she would be out any minute. "Alright mom, thanks for sticking around. We're done here." I say, "Right on. Need anything else from me?" "Yeah, can you just hang out here with us till she leaves? I don't want her to cause any problems in the parking lot." "So, how does a charge for wasting an officer's time work anyway? Does she just get like a ticket or something?" "Man, that's a lot of paperwork, and we weren't too far away, so I'd rather not if it's all the same to you." "Yeah, alright, fair enough then, Sonny Jim, but can you make it look like you are taking my statement about it when she walks out? I kinda wanna freak her out." They both laugh and say no. Karen walks out to her car, her crotch goblins get in the back, and the second officer notices neither of them have a car seat or booster. He almost skips over to her car to give her a ticket, while me and my officer friend walk to my car laughing at her losing her mind over the ticket. End of the day, I got my 2 new pairs of glasses, kept my Switch, Karen got a ticket, and to celebrate, I bought myself the Johnny Silverhand 18-inch figure from Walmart. As Ice Cube said, it was a good day. Do you want to know the best thing about this story, guys? It's the fact that OP used the phrase Sunny Jim and got away with it. I want to see more of that on Entitled Parents. I don't think I've actually read that phrase on Reddit yet, but what a phrase it is. Overall, a great story in my opinion, and it had a good bit of karma at the end as well, which is obviously what we all like to see, especially on this subreddit. Now guys, before I go today, I do quickly have time to show you guys one piece of fan art. This one is from Taylor Sutton. Bang, there it is. An absolute beauty. Look, a nice chilled one for once. You know, none of this crazy stuff going on. Just sitting back, wearing a nice yellow shirt, a nice suit, by the fire, having a good time, probably reading out some stories, you know, having a chilled one. Anyway guys, that is going to do it for this episode of Entitled Parents. Remember to subscribe if you haven't done already, and also turn on notifications so you never miss out on one of my daily uploads. Also, if you want another story right away about a Nintendo Switch, well, bang, it's on screen. Where is it? There. Amazing.